Coming up on FSM News, we're talking all about social issues such as cyberbullying, rape, and homelessness.
It's going to be a great show. Stay tuned.
FSM News is on. I must go.
Hello, and welcome to FSM News. I'm Detaviana Howard.
And I'm Gina Navarrete. Hey, have you caught up on any recent news on social media?
Oh yeah, there was this one video of Sally and Emma. Have you seen it?
Yeah, isn't that kind of cyberbullying?
I don't really know what cyberbullying is.
Well, I don't really know either, but we can find out more on the next news package.
Here is FSM reporter Shakira Owens with more.
In today's society, technology is advancing with cell phones. Some teenagers use their cell phones to create drama on social media, which leads to cyberbullying. Over 25% of teens have been bullied repeatedly through their cell phones.
Cyberbullying is, to me, is basically just someone abusing their power, someone using their freedom of speech too far and just making somebody else's life miserable. Somebody using their power of a keyboard to make someone else feel as if they're a lesser person.
I guess it happens to a lot of people of all ages, where you talk online and you have like an online presence in Facebook or Snapchat or whatever it is, and someone harasses you on that social platform.
I believe that when you bully someone on social media or online, it's a bigger audience, it's a bigger platform, rather than if you're in a school or just outside at the park, there's maybe 4 or 5 kids. It gives others that may not even know that person to say mean and awful things to them.
This topic is important because it can lead to suicide. More than 1 in 3 young people experience cyber threats online, and 20% of them think about suicide, and 10% of them actually attempt it.
If you already experience like verbal bullying or like physical, that could lead to suicide or any other type of bad event happening, like suicidal thoughts and like self-harm.
I feel like it should be kind of an eye for an eye. They should feel what they're dishing out, but how do you enforce that? I don't know, probably detention or something.
Have a space for them to reflect on the reasons why they did it. Maybe it happened to them. Maybe they need to have a conversation with the person and talk about like why they posted these things on there. So reflection for them, and also reflection on what the other person may go through that's being cyberbullied.
That's a tough question because you can't prevent cyberbullying. It's just like you can't prevent racism. It's still going on no matter what.
It would be good to maybe take the device away or delete whatever they're using to bully, like Facebook or Twitter or text messages.
Cyberbullying is a really big problem. Unfortunately, it really can't be prevented because you can never really monitor what's going to happen. Reporting for FSM News, this is Shakira Owens.
You know who gets bullied often? The LGBT community.
Did you know that's only one of the problems that they face? Let's watch this Did You Know to better understand issues LGBT students face at school.
Here is FSM reporter Howard Guyton with more.
High school is where most students start to acknowledge themselves and start to understand what their interests are in specific areas. While this is supposed to be an exciting experience for teenagers, for those who classify their sexual orientation differently, it can be traumatizing. The community that they are in aren't accepting of their preferences, and schools aren't that different either. The only difference is that schools claim to be accepting the LGBT youth. 34% of LGBT youth are bullied on school properties. Trans students are forced to go into bathrooms that doesn't correspond to their gender identity, and if they do, they're called perverts and then are suspended from school. Also, for prom, LGBT couples can go together even though they pay for it. They also don't allow you to public support if you're an ally, despite having a GSA. Then 40% of the LGBT youth are homeless and receive no help from schools even when it's reported. But even so, there are hundreds of programs and organizations that can help and support these students. So donate or volunteer.
Sometimes couples fight and don't always agree, but sometimes it could be even more serious than that. Here is an FSM report on rape.
We are going to show you 3 scenarios, and at the end, we are going to ask you which of the 3 show rape. In the first scenario, we have a girl and a guy at a college party. Jessica started to drink too much and ended up drunk. Xavier saw that she was under the influence and put a pill in her drink. He gave it to her, and after a couple of hours, he brought her to a hotel where he took advantage of her.
In the second scenario, there's a gay couple having a movie night, and one of them starts to get a little frisky, but her partner says no, yet the other one proceeds anyway.
The last scenario, we have a married couple. The wife is doing some housework when the husband comes in and pressures her to go with him, but she says no, and he resorts to violence.
Do you know which one showed rape? Actually, all of them did. No matter who you're with, where you are, and who you are, it happens to everyone.
Can rape and abuse lead to pregnancies?
Oh yeah, it can definitely happen to some teens.
Yes, but there are options such as keeping the baby, adoption, and abortion. Here is FSM reporter Armani Allen with more.
Approximately 1 million teenagers in America become pregnant each year. Teens who become pregnant choose to abort 35% of the time. 40% of minors having an abortion report date, neither parents knew about the abortion. To reduce abortions or even getting pregnant, teenagers should use protection. Having an abortion should be up to those who create the baby in the first place. Others might say that abortions are the same as murder because you are taking a life, and you should have been more careful. But the decisions women make are in the best interest for herself and her body because giving birth is a huge and mental event. Becoming pregnant interferes with education and leaves single mothers and deadbeat fathers. The decisions that they make is the outcome of what best fits for them or her. No one should judge a woman's decision when it comes to what she wants to do with her body.
Did you know that some young parents are disowned by their families?
Yeah, some of them end up homeless, right?
Yes, but don't take my word for it. Here is FSM reporter Jalea Armstead with more.
There is a large amount of homeless people in Chicago's population. Over the course of a year, over 100,000 individuals experience homelessness here.
Whether it's 90-degree weather in the summer or negative 10 degrees in the winter, it's really hard to survive in an outside environment with no food. This leads to the fact that there aren't enough resources for homeless people in Chicago. I talked to a Chicago resident about their thoughts on resources.
I do not think there are enough resources at all. I feel like it basically shows where we are and how we're willing to support enough people. I do feel that there are some places, but there is still not enough resources to help them as far as housing, jobs, giving them places, food to eat or anything. There are not enough resources, and the resources that are available, they actually have to jump through hoops to get the assistance they need.
That's a problem because about 700 homeless people die of hypothermia each year across America. Many people may stereotype all homeless people by saying that they abuse their donations by buying drugs or alcohol. But you can't assume someone's circumstances based on appearances because what if someone truly needed your donation? Donate from your heart, not based on assumptions. This affects our society as a whole because people tend to look down on societies that aren't united. Also because being homeless cuts your lifespan. The average age that a homeless person dies is about 50 years old. Non-homeless Americans can expect to live to the age of 78. You never know what homeless people go through each day, and you never know if that could be you one day in that situation. So we all should do more work to improve homeless resources. Reporting from FSM News, this is Jaleel Armstead.
That's our show for today.
Until next time, you can check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Just search FSM News.
You can also watch us on CAN TV channels 19 and 27.
And don't forget to find us on ABC7 Chicago's website in the community section.
And that's all for today.
On FSM News, West Side.
Free Spirit Media transforms media and society by providing opportunities for emerging creators, primarily from communities of color, to produce and distribute original content and to pursue artistic, personal, and professional aspirations.